Greetings all, I pray all is well. You know, my message is always changing the vibration of this planet with love, and what conversations can we have to assist in this process. So this one was just got me thinking, you know what I mean, about consciousness. So you know, we kind of got an idea of what consciousness is, but I looked it up, you know, just to see what the definition would be, and it was talking about the awareness and your awareness and being able to the ability to feel with your senses and think, reason, right? And your consciousness is about how awake you are or how asleep you are and everything in between. So I'm like, you know, to our understanding of what consciousness is, I think, what was his name? I think KRS-One somebody asked him a question about what did he think, you know, this whole energy was, and he said something about, he said, I think it's consciousness. He says, because what happens when, you know, like when you pass out, or something happens to you, you pass out, what happens? You lose consciousness. So consciousness is one of the most important things to our understanding. And so when he said that, I was like, kind of makes sense. You know, consciousness is, you know, everything is consciousness, you know what I mean? Everything comes from consciousness in order to be made physical. And if we all partake of this consciousness, what is the degrees of this consciousness? Well, evidently it's degrees of it, because, you know what I mean, you can tell by somebody's level of consciousness how they react or how they act or how they behave. And so so I got to thinking, you know, what is the next, or what is a next step in evolution of consciousness, or what do we evolve into, or what do we evolve to or go to, or, you know what I mean, what's the next step? And you know, my spirit took me through that space of what's it called? I think I'm having a hot flash, to be quite honest, right now, because I am burning up in ways that I don't even know why. Hey, oh, but anyway, back to consciousness. Hey, shoot, this perimenopause thing ain't no damn joke, I swear. It's all friggin'. Anyway, so back to consciousness. So I got to thinking, what about you know, the planet is conscious, aware, and you know that the planet is conscious and aware because it has the ability to house many different species, many different animals, and, you know, plants, wildlife, you name it, all types of things. So is consciousness in that level, is that the same, is that the next degree? Is that a part of the evolutionary process, that, you know what I mean, that once your consciousness expands to the capacity to hold more, is that more like planetary, you know? Because the boats, the heavenly bodies in space have much consciousness and awareness in order to be able to house that type of energy or wisdom or space. So I was like, wow, that's deep. I mean, could that be part of the evolutionary process, that once you master, or once you're conscious and the awareness of the capacity of humanity, because, you know, they say we don't even use part of, you know, a smidgen of our brains, so there's so much more that we lack awareness of. So, you know, with what we have the capabilities of, because we have to transcend a lot of stuff that is man-made. We have to transcend a lot of information or misinformation that we've been given for many years that keeps us subject and suppressed to a certain space. We have to overcome, you know, the atrocities of friggin' racism. That is, anyway, racism, sexism, all of that kind of stuff. We've got to overcome a lot of these things to be able to raise our level of consciousness, to be able to expand, to be able to hold more. So, you know, when I thought about that, I was like, wow, that gives me another perspective of what life really is about and what it has to offer, and what we're doing here, and what, you know, what is the personality for, what are all these, what are we gaining in regards to having these different, wearing all these different hats to be able to do these different things. And that with that level of consciousness the ability to be able to assist many others on their processes, because wherever we're at, there is somebody that needs that assistance from where we were before. So, you know what I mean? And we've gained that knowledge and wisdom that we can assist others. It's the same like, you know, you've got your lawyers and your doctors and your accountants and they're assisting people with finances that they didn't know. So consciously, you know, with awareness, everything in life we seem to expand with. So if that's an expansion of our consciousness with our feelings, and that's the other thing, I've talked about emotions before, we have to get to understand our emotions completely, because I think we're only tapping a surface level of understanding of what these energies are about. I've said it before, and I think sexual energy, that energy alone is so vast, it's so powerful, and yet we have no idea how that really works. You know what I mean? To get a complete awareness of it and being able to utilize it the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Because we know sexual energy and creative energy is the same energy. It's just channeled in different ways. So again, consciousness is so much more than what we put our minds to. And I think we have to really think about these things a lot more, because that expansion, that growth kind of lets us know where we're at as a species, as a collective. And, you know, the collective consciousness, because we're all connected, whether we want to accept it or not. Black, white, red, Indian, Asian, we're all connected. You know what I mean? So all the rubbish of racism and all that crap, I'm not disregarding the things that people do, because this is why we're in the mess that we're in now, because man has created narratives and created a lot of different things that's put us in the positions that we are, which minimizes our level of consciousness, which minimizes our level of awareness in order to be able to respond to a lot of different things. So if we have in mind what consciousness really is and how it really expands, that there's no limitation to any of it. It's just depending on how we look at things. So a planet that has the ability to respond to everything on it and all the atrocities that are being created on it, even though it doesn't belong to it, but it still be able to house it, that's some mad consciousness there. That's a mad level of awareness that, you know, it's like, can we fathom that type of stuff? But in that thinking, it opens your mind to the possibility of so much more, and so much more awareness of self, kind, and what is really out there. You know what I mean? And so, and having that type of awareness will open your eyes to the lies and the deceit that has been continuously perpetuated in our lives and lives before us, and you know what I mean, all the stories that's been man-made and created and So yeah, consciousness. We really, I mean, it's a topic that is a never-ending topic. So I'm touching on this in regards to the planet, and is that part of our evolutionary process? That, you know what I mean, as we expand, do we expand to be able to house a lot more than just self? You know what I mean? Because we already create life. We already have the ability to create life. So with consciousness, where does that expansion go to? And if it is planetary, then wow, that's some major stuff. In order for us to be able to have the ability to consciously house so much more than self is beyond our comprehension right now. Because, you know what I mean, yeah, we have our own ecosystem that works on us, you know what I mean, with the bacteria and all this stuff, and how our body works and all the stuff that does what it does. But that consciousness is vast, and we have to really get to understand that, to understand ourselves a lot more. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there, because that's thingamajig. I love you. We love you, and we love you too. Take care and have a wonderful day. Peace out.